Always a privilege and a pleasure to be here at Wembley, and we're joined by Karl Standley, who you've had a bit of a job on your hands the last couple of months. You've done something a bit different.
Yeah, we have. We've been very busy. I've been planning this for about 2.5 years now. So the old system we had in here, the Deso Grassmaster, again, we were looking to do a reconstruction, which we've then undertaken in the winter. So rather than the summer, we've moved it to the winter in the stadium, which has no natural sunlight. So it's been a bit of a challenge over the last few months.
So apart from being mad, what actually dictated that? Is it just the schedule you've got?
So yeah, it's working with the scheduling team, and again, we looked at a summer reconstruction. Last year, Wembley undertook 14 renowned concerts back to back. Incredible year. So we were looking at what we can do, and we decided to actually put the reconstruction into the winter. I think the last 2 years we've been doing work on the surface through the winter. We knew the pitch by the back of our hands really, so we decided to undertake it in the winter. That was planned around about, or decided about 2.5 years ago. And then for around a year we then started looking at all the issues that we would have. How do we then look at the loss of natural sunlight, and what can we do to ensure that the surface is correct, ready for the first game, which is Sunday 1st of March for the Carabao Cup final.
So quite a big one to come out of the traps with. Before we get into details, you happy with the surface?
Never happy.
Okay.
I think any groundsman you speak to,
Yes.
we're never happy, but there's always an improvement. There's always those marginal gains that we can pull back, and but I think looking from where we went from the 20th of November, suddenly we had a game of football within the stadium, and within a couple of hours we were in a construction zone. We're having 60 Arctic trucks a day come in, taking out around about 3,500 tonnes of material, working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 3 weeks. It was something incredible. So even at 3 AM when everyone's sleeping, we still had a team here taking out the old pitch, putting the new surface back in, and then a week of stitching, which again was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So a massive plan put together over those years. It was incredible to see, I must admit.
So plan, it sounds like you've asked a lot of your team. They've delivered. You must have something to say about those guys.
They've been incredible. I mean, David Mole's been with me for 14 years, and Brendan Abbott with me for 12, and those guys have got experience of not the events, but the stadium, the microclimate that we're currently in. So for us, they are absolutely incredible. They're a team who believe in a vision, and I think me discussing the plan for winter reconstruction with the board members, with people around the building, the directors as well, and saying we're going to do something in the winter, it's not been done before, but here's a plan we're going to put in place. Designing that plan, it's not just me, it's the team together. What can we do? Lessons learned from previous. So no, they've been absolutely incredible. They've bought into that vision, into that plan, and everything that I've asked from them, every little bit, including the 2 storms that we've recently had come through the stadium, they've been fantastic, so credit to them.
So in that plan, what were the key elements and what were the key challenges then?
Timeline was the first one. How long does it take to grow a healthy grass plant from seed to maturity, where we can have an event on it? The second one was in the microclimate of Wembley. For 6 months of the year, we actually have no natural sunlight. So what can we do to mitigate that? And then we looked at everything, the finer details of disease management. Again, we don't know what the weather's going to hold. We couldn't have predicted that we'd have 2 storms come through United Kingdom. But again, how do we then look at those issues and work against them? So pretty much we put a plan in place that was hopefully unbreakable. We knew there would be times when we would be challenged again upon the bigger challenge, which is the reconstruction. But
Yep.
It was something very, very special, and everyone who's been involved in this has bought into the timeline that we've been given and worked towards. And you see the surface behind us now, and the guy is doing one of the final cuts before the game on Sunday. So a few more to go.
Okay, Karl. In terms of your choice of seed, did that change at all because of the growing season that you had?
So one thing I try to bring into the team is, again, we want to try and make sure that we test and try everything. We don't want to we listen to other people within the industry and their thoughts, and we speak to other grounds managers, other grounds teams. But one thing we like to do is try and do as many dry runs as possible. So we've even done a dry run going from the end of this year's Mad May season of the finals into the Euro 2020. We've got 17 days. So I've actually done a dry run already last September when everyone was probably not watching the pitch. We were behind the scenes working to make sure that the process is correct. With that, we've also done a growing with certain materials that we've used. Again, last year we undertook that growing in preparation for this winter one. So all the materials were dry runned last year going into the stadium being in shade. We then done the exact same to ensure that when they go in the winter, they work how we think they're going to work.
Extra toys, did you have to bring in any extra kit in, or did you make do with the lights that you've got here, for instance?
We bought in 6 extra high sodium bulb SGL lights, so they came in the building, so we hired them for 6 months. But again, it was working with everyone around us to, again, see what we really do need. So it wasn't just us being here going, I think we need this, I think we need that. We opened ourselves up and went, what do we want to achieve? And with that, yeah, we bought in another 6 lights that made us up to 18, which was quite a large amount. But with the stadium that's in no sunlight, that's what we needed to ensure that the timeline was met.